Washington, Bolivar, Ho Chi Minh, and Anzac, all men who did their best to free their nations from colonial pressure from the outside. While some who fought the colonial powers are remembered fondly, the period of the Yemen emergency has left a scar on the history of the Middle East that has yet to heal. From 1963 to 1967, the modern territory of Yemen was characterized by a series of insurgencies, counterinsurgencies, and political turmoil. This video will examine the causes and consequences of the Aden emergency, as well as the strategies and tactics used by both sides during the conflict. In the 1830s, Britain was in the market for a coal depot to service their steamships as they sailed to their colony in India. They considered cities and villages all over the Red Sea and landed on Aden in Yemen. They tried to negotiate a deal with a local sultan where they would be allowed to use Aden's port, but their deal was rejected. The British, being the British, didn't let that stop them, and so they went to another sultan and managed to get him to agree to allow them to use the port. Naturally, getting their way wasn't enough, however. They wanted full control over the port, but knew they couldn't take it by force without sufficient enough reason or fear of starting a conflict. Their opportunity, however, came in 1838 when a British trading ship passing by Aden was attacked by local Arab pirates who plundered the goods and sank the boat. Losing the boat was more valuable to the British than keeping what was on board. In January of 1839, they seized their opportunity to retaliate by dispatching a warship from India to attack Aden. Though the Yemeni guards tried to defend the port, the firepower of the British was overwhelming and there was little they could do. Not wanting to seem like the bad guys, they forced the sultan they previously made a deal with to accept their protection and give them full control over Aden in exchange for a yearly fee. Faced with the famed British diplomacy, the Sultan had no choice but to agree, and Aden became the center of what was called the Aden Protectorate. From the very beginning, the British presence was met with extreme hostility from the locals, who had already faced centuries of subjugation from the Ottomans. It didn't take long for things to reach a boiling point, and in November 1839, 5,000 local tribesmen tried to retake Aden. The British fought them off and killed 200 before they decided to retreat. Still, the British realized that if their presence in Aden was to live long and prosper, they would need to make friends with the 9 tribes that surrounded the port city or deal with being attacked every few months. So they drafted what were called protection and friendship treaties with the tribes. These treaties guaranteed that the tribes would